What's good, people? Uncle Hotep back at it again. How y'all doing? I might have to keep my glasses on for this. I'm gonna do a little reading. You know, the very smart brothers blog. You know, it was a blog by two shines. You know, two hating ass Negroes. I guess they eventually bucked up. They had quite a following. They got bought up by I guess the same company that owns all the Shine, all the Shine's media. You know, the Root, all the other shits, man. I don't even read the shit, man. I go there occasionally, but it's a bunch of bullshit. But as you can see, y'all know I was coming for this. You know what's coming this because this is actually a take on, a tweet that Rodimus, I think his name is Rodimus Trump Prime, and if you look through my archives, and I highly suggest some people that are new to my channel go back and check out my archives. I got plenty of videos. I think I got over 1,000 videos. One of those videos is by Rodimus Prime, who made a similar tweet. I think he used cishet or whatever. I don't know what he used. But as you can see, straight black men are the white people of black people. Now, if this isn't ignorance at its finest, I don't know what to say. First of all, it's racist, not only towards white people, but it's racism towards straight black people, straight black men specifically. It's, you're stereotyping a certain sector of black people in saying we are a problem of what I don't know. Well, let's look at the issue. You know what I mean? Let's do a little bit of reading here, shall we? It feels counterintuitive to suggest that black men as a whole possess any sort of privilege, particularly the type of privilege created for and protected by whiteness. In America, we are near or bottom in every relevant metric determining quality of life. Our arrest and incarceration rates, our likelihood of dying a violent death, our likelihood of graduating high school and attending college, our employment rates, our average net worth, our likelihood of surviving past 70. I could continue, but the point is clear. Yes, it is shine, and that's all you really need to be said about it. You know what I mean? If I don't know what privilege is that. If this is privilege, I don't want nothing. I want no privilege. I don't want no privilege. If that's what you call privilege, very smart brother, Damon Young, you shine. I don't want nothing of it. But assessing our privilege or lack thereof on these facts, consider only the relationship with whiteness and with America. Interracially, however, our relationship to and with black women is not unlike whiteness' relationship to us. In fact, it's eerily similar. Never mind the fact, if you're any of these groups where, the African American Negro, the Shine, the Akata, congregate and speak, and these Facebook groups, these Twitter groups. You just go on Twitter, they'll say that black women are the leading business leaders, creating new businesses, and they're the most highly educated. Now, educated in what I do not know, but I mean there's some facts to support some of those cases. Starting new business. I mean, that may be selling weave or whatever, but hey, they're starting their own business. I can't fault them for that. More so than black men. It is without question they are more educated than black men. If you want to take the standard of the college degrees in America, I wouldn't say that really means anything. Especially the liberal and the leftist playgrounds and breeding grounds that there's higher learning in America has become. But if you want to go by degrees, they far outshine black men. All right, we're the ones whom the first black president created an entire initiative to assist and uplift. We're the ones whose beatings and deaths at the hands of police galvanize the community in a way that beatings and sexual assaults and deaths that these same police inflict upon black women do not. Well, of course, there's, to be honest, there's going to be less assaults and everything on black women by the police than black men. That's just perfectly logic, Mr. Damon Young. Geez, what do you think? You know what I mean? Stop being a shine for 5 minutes. We're the ones whose mistreatment inspired a boycott of the NFL, despite the NFL's long history of mishandling and outright ignoring far worse crimes against black women. We are the ones who get the biggest seat at the table and the biggest piece of chicken at the table, despite making smallest contributions to the meal. Inspiring boycotts, that's nothing. You know what I mean? You're just boycotting. Nothing is being done here. You know what I mean? You're talking about galvanizing the community. To do what? Protest police? That does nothing again. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what... that does nothing what you're talking about. This piece of chicken at the table you're talking about really is nothing. It's fake. You know what I mean? It's tofu. And nowhere is this more evident than when considering the collective danger we pose to black women and our collective lack of willingness to accept and make amends for that truth. It is a damning and depressing paradox. When speaking about race and racism, we want our concerns and our worries and our fears to be acknowledged. We want white people to at least make an effort to understand that our reality is different from theirs and that white supremacy is vital and inextricable part of America's foundation. If it's inextricable, why are you fighting it? Anyway, and we grow frustrated when they refuse to acknowledge their role historically and presently in propagating it. I think if anybody's propagating white supremacy, it's you shines that talk about it incessantly. Y'all are propping up white supremacy. You same shines that talk about it 24/7, 365 are the ones that white quote-unquote white supremacy depends on to keep it afloat. When the racism isn't blatant or doesn't appear to exist at all, we want them to give us the benefit of the doubt because we're trained ourselves to be able to sense it, even in minute and barely perceptible amounts, because our safety depends on our recognition of it. Jesus Christ. How about the chocolate Klansman? Mr. Damon Young, does our safety, you know what I mean? We're more likely to get shot by another black male than a police officer. So where's their safety depend on that? Does your Negro sense tingle when you're around the chocolate Klansman? Shut the hell up, man. We share how it feels to be stopped by a police officer or perhaps walk into an all-white bar and have each eye trained on us. Dude, if you feel uncomfortable in an all-white bar, then leave. Go. Why are you not going to an all-black bar? Why aren't you going to the corner bodega? You shine. Or perhaps the jaunt down the street in an all-white neighborhood. And we want them to understand how words and gestures they consider be innocuous can be threatening, even there's no intention or malice. Dude, there's no intention or malice in how it can be threatening. Just stop it, man. You're just caring about your feelings. Once again, the American shine worries about their goddamn feelings too much. Although we recognize that not all white people are actively racist, we want them to accept that all benefits from racism. And we become annoyed when individual whites take personal exception and center themselves in any conversation about race, claiming to be one of the good ones and wishing for us to stop and acknowledge their goodness. This is your fault, man. If you were sitting there talking to them about race, that's what you get. I don't have these same conversations. You know what I mean? I don't even know I don't know why you would be having these conversations with people. Why are you obsessed about race? You know what I mean? There's plenty of other stuff you can talk about. Talk about your local football team. Talk about your local basketball. Talk about Kevin Durant and his fake profiles. You don't talk, oh man, my blackness he was staring at me today because my skin is black. Like, what? Do you honestly do this shit every day, Damon? No, you don't. You're black liberal, you buffer Negro. But when black women share, back to the story, to the writing. But when black women share that we pose the same existential threat and literal danger to them, and that whiteness does to us, why is it Jesus. And when black women ask us to give them the benefit of the doubt about street harassment and sexual assault, and hold on, and where am I at? And when tell us that allowing our cousins and co-workers and niggas to use misogynistic language propagates that culture of danger. And when black men admit how scary it can be to get followed and approached by hold on, where am I at? Sorry, somebody hit me on the instant messenger, man, messed me all up. But I'm gonna keep it rolling. And approached by a bland while waiting for a bus or walking home from work. And when black women articulate how hurtful it is, our reaction to domestic abuse and their rapes and murders to be what women need to be differently to prevent this from happening to them. Instead, what we men need to do differently to prevent us from doing this to them. Their words are met with resistance and outright pushback. After demanding from white people that we're listening to and believe that our livelihoods are considered, our ears are shut off and hearts shut down when black women are pleading with us. This is I'm going to read the rest of this. Making things worse is that black women and girls are also black people in America. No shit. A fact we seem to forget whenever possessing a bad memory is convenient. The effects of racism, metaphysical and literal, and existential dread and danger is felt when existing while black are not exclusive to black men and boys. No one said it is. They face the same racism we do and same doubts from whites about whether the racism actually exists that we do. And then they're forced to attempt to convince their brothers and partners and friends and fathers and cousins and lovers of the dangers of existing as a black woman, and that they're met with same doubts, the same resistance, the same questions. They are not believed in the predominantly white world or in their predominantly black communities. And we black men were whether either uninterested in sincerely addressing and destructing this culture of danger or pervasive doubt or refuse to admit it even exists. You know, maybe some misogynist, but is it widespread as y'all like to think it? No. And to be honest, some women even like that. I think you gotta and also to be honest, who raises these straight black men? You know, once again, if 70% is in single parent homes, you know, the mother is the one doing the raising of some of these sons that are acting like you were saying. You know what I mean? If we return fathers to the homes at like the 80 or 90 degree level, then I think you wouldn't have these problems. I'm not sure where I first heard straight black men are the white people or black people. I know I read a version in Saki Benibo's The 444 Effect. Mela Machinko, I don't know what these shines names are. Cishet black men are the white people or black people. Over a year ago, and apparently so much criticism for it, she temporarily locked her account. But in a conversation we had earlier today, she shared that her tweet is actually a revision of another tweet she read. A month after Mela's tweet, it was revised again by Rodimus Prime. That's the shine I got in my video. Check that out. I might try to link it. I also know that I read piece in a part of the conversation connecting our black men's relationship with black women to relationships with white people that never quite heard it articulated this way. I mean, y'all talk about white people way too much, man. It's wow. You buffer Negroes or something else, man. Either way, the statement and phrasing that they suggest are shocking and succinct, simple and subtle and fucking scary. And it's true. No, Damon Young, it's not true. You're an absolute shine. You know, I don't even know where you get this stuff from. I mean, it's always these men that aren't straight black men saying this stuff. You know what I mean? And it's a shame. You know what I mean? You should be ashamed of yourself to even write this shit. You're taking these tweets and remixing them and just I don't know. Yeah, I mean, come on. Like I said, being a black man is straight black man is probably the most hated individual in the world. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't have it no other way. I love being the most hated, especially being hated by people like Damon Young, because they're absolute shines, they're cowards, you know what I mean? And they want to put the blame on something instead of looking at themselves in the mirror. This is Uncle Hotep. Peace.